All right, boom. Welcome back to a special episode of Stoppage Time TV. You already know the gang's here. Third to my right, Cam to my left. And as always, we always think, we have conversations amongst ourselves. And we think this will be great content to share with, friends and family and our viewership. Mm-hmm. So the most recent conversation we were having was the life cycle of managers is very short. I think in the Premier League, the manager that's been in post the longest is Jurgen Klopp. Which is mad when you think about what it used to be with like Fergie and everything. And sometimes when you're in management, it doesn't go the way you want to go. Yeah. You get sacked when the result's not there. In the last few weeks, we've seen Conte fall, we've seen Rodgers fall, we've seen Potter fall. But it's not the first time we've seen managers fall. I don't think a fall should be the end of you. But in conversations, a few names that came up of managers that have risen again when they've faced adversity. They had some dirt in their name, they go off. We've seen some managers that have done that during their career at a team as well. So, I thought it'd be a great time to have a conversation about who are some of those managers that have really done a great turnaround. They might have been run out of a club before and they've gone to another club and delivered, or something that didn't go well at a club, but they've gone elsewhere, they've moved abroad and they've managed to restore the feeling. Like, who are some managers that stick out to you guys?
I'll give you one right off top. José Mourinho.
Speak to me.
I will never forget how this country treated this man. Hey, listen, the United fans hounded him out. Then he came to Spurs, and I remember thinking, how have we been fortunate enough to get this manager? And he went and took us to our first final in 11 years, and people still wanted him out. And I get it, he might not play the most attractive style of football, but I've always said with Jose, you know what you're going to get. Siege mentality, like a character, someone who is infectious as well in my eyes. But the way he got chased out of those two clubs, I felt like people were almost signaling, we're past the Jose type management days. Those guys are in yesteryear. They're dinosaurs was the frequent thing. Then he went off to Roma and everybody went, yeah, that's the kind of level he should be coaching at. Like Roma are 7th, 8th in Serie A, currently 3rd, top 4, competing for Champions League. As and when we're recording now. And this year they've actually improved. Every time he's gone, introducing so many young players into that team, something that people accuse Jose of not being able to do. Continuing and being the first manager to go and win every single UEFA trophy available to him. Winning the first ever Conference League with Roma. I was like, bro, people are writing this guy off. But it just goes to show you, class is permanent, form is temporary. And I feel like this topic, Jose just epitomizes it in my opinion. When you talk about remontadas, that's a remontada for me.
I like that one because in my head, when you look at Jose Mourinho and you look at the Spurs situation, when Carney said, I guess we'll never know. Yeah. We will never know if he managed to break the curse or not. So therefore, in my head, there's a big percentage that he did. Yeah. And if he's the man that broke the curse at Spurs, he's held. That's probably more important than any trophy he's ever won because he broke the curse. He got robbed of that moment. So for him to be doing stuff at Roma is great. I think one that I would bring to the table is someone that a lot of people are clocking on to now at the moment in Premier League, who's Emery. Of course, people remember the Arsenal getting run out, but he did well after that. But what he's doing with this Villa team, he looked at a team that invested well, and said, all right, no problem. I am of caliber. I believe in myself. And he's taking this team to European football places. This is where Villa should have been based on selling of Grealish and investing in their team. Gerrard took them all the way back. But you're looking at this manager and thinking, raw, like he was actually good. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans will put their hands up and say, it was just the wrong time. Wenger was a tough act to follow, but he got run out of that club. They smutted his name. They good evening. They're still trying to beat him with good evening till now. No. There's no good evening anymore. It's a good team. Yeah. It's a good manager. That's what we should be talking about. Since he's come in, I think he's only 3rd to City and Arsenal on the form table. They have scored in every single game that they've played. And Emery's someone that sometimes the football was always spoken about. It's not the most progressive. I remember we had a conversation about one of the games they played where deliberately one of the tactics they employed was they passed to Mings and Mings didn't progress the ball until someone attacked. Yeah. And it was a boring game of football. But when you're delivering for a team like Villa, no one can complain about. Yeah. Similar to Jose. When you're delivering and you're doing good stuff, you got to respect it, man. And similar to Jose, this guy's looked at his strike and said, I need to mold you. Jose's done it with Tammy. Emery's cooking something with Watkins still.
And I think even undersold what he did at Villarreal a little bit there.
Oh, listen.
Winning the Europa League, beating United in the final.
3-time winner, man.
And then...
That's his team.
Let's not forget, got to the Champions League semi-final, but the year before, that same team finished 7th.
Yep.
And only got to the Champions League because they won the Europa League.
And obviously,
getting to that semi-final.
Not to rewrite his Arsenal thing, but yeah, a Europa League final with Arsenal as well.
Yeah.
5th place with Arsenal as well, which was pretty close as well. So we know it didn't work out Arsenal, but for his name to be stained and stuff, for him to do what he's doing now, well, maybe in the Premier League, maybe not around the world, but for him to be doing what he's doing now deserves mad respect. But I think there's someone similar as well, in a similar fashion. And for me, that's Sarri. You know what I mean? That's Sarri, you know, the whole Sarri ball.
Sarri sexuals.
You know what I mean? The whole Sarri ball, Sarri sexual, all that type of stuff was always laughed at when he brought in Jorginho, and, you know, people were saying, why is he only trying to play through? You can't play this type of football with Chelsea. It's not Napoli and all that type of stuff. What? Making Kante attack. Now, all of a sudden, everyone says, Kante's good on the ball, you know? He can play. But he was the first one to say, go, you go and do all that stuff. Be free. So I think he deserves a shot. He's sitting right now, as we are filming this, second with Lazio. You know what I mean? They just went and had a big result as well on the weekend. He is doing a good job, and he's implementing his style of football on them the same way he did implement a good style of football for Chelsea. And there's some certain Chelsea fans that if you speak to now, they look back to that sacking and be like, maybe he was the one we never should have sacked. Well, some say he left, right? Okay, he left. Whatever the situation is, we never should have let him go. And I can agree with that, because he's probably the only one, as much as Tuchel does really well, Tuchel done well and stuff, he should never have been sacked as well. But he's like a project manager, Sarri. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know if Tuchel is a project manager. I don't really know. Yeah. Exactly. Everyone in this day and age talking about ideology, Sarri is a manager that's currently doing it, has done it. And it looks like it's a situation where Chelsea probably won't want to go back to a manager like that. But I definitely think Sarri should be a manager that is in consideration to go back to Chelsea. Because everything that you want, the players that Chelsea have signed as well, passing football, they want to be passing, young, attacking. I think Sarri can do something with that type of team. So I got to give him big respect, because, again, people seem to think that if you don't work out at a Premier League club, you're dusted, you're finished. But you left Chelsea, you went to Juve, and he was actually the one he had Cristiano Ronaldo, they won the league, they had a good little time there, you know what I mean? Then what, he ended up having to go for Pirlo? How did that work out? Not great, you know what I mean? He's there looking shiny again. Goes to Lazio, and he's got them playing their best football in years. Let's not forget, he had Hazard arguably in his best season, that 15-15 in the Premier League. He won the Europa League. So Sarri's a good manager. I definitely think Chelsea should be looking at someone like Sarri again. Why not?
And another one within that Serie A, though, we've touched on the 3rd place, the 2nd place, the top manager as well, Spalletti.
Speak on it. The reason why I want to speak on it is because a lot of people probably don't understand the context or backstory of what they're seeing. They don't think that this man just come out of nowhere and is winning the league. But
he was like, when he was at Roma, obviously, he was like the dark. I felt like for 5-6 years, he really built a culture there, went Zenit. Do you remember the Hulk, Danny era? He was the guy who
got the Brazilians.
But then went into Milan during what was arguably their worst period, I would say, when they were in the mud. And I felt like that stained his name a little bit. And everyone was kind of like, is he as good as he really thinks he is, type of thing. 2 years in the wilderness. I don't know whether he was doing punditry, olives, wine, whatever it was. But he has come back with Napoli on a mission. And I remember when Napoli, in the summer, it was a case of, you're bringing in Kvisha, you're bringing in Kim Min-jae. Nobody thought these guys were going to do what they're doing now to the performance they're playing. The quality that the team is playing at, the revival of guys like Anguissa, like scouting tactically, this team being top of the table. Bro, Ndombele all of a sudden has some life in him. Do you know what I'm saying? It's actually crazy, but the job he's done there after kind of having that 2-year break, I don't think anybody expected that. And you say Chelsea should be looking at potentially Sarri again or whatever. Spalletti as well is one I would imagine a lot of top clubs are going to soon start thinking, should we give him a gag?
It just shows like pressure. You can override pressure. You can override having a bad job somewhere. And that's the thing that we're basically saying about Potter in his situation. Conte too. Now Conte's proven winner. Rodgers
got written off at Liverpool. Revived himself at Celtic.
Exactly. And now he's written off again. You know what I mean? So there's going to be up and downs, but there's actually always there's a way of getting yourself back to the top. You know what I mean?
I think it's part of the new managerial cycle. I don't think we'll ever see the long stints of managers. Even in post, like whilst you're in the job, there was allegations on Xavi's name at one point. Arteta managed to escape life loads of times.
Klopp now.
Well, yeah, some fans are saying they want Klopp out, but I mean, can he go again next year? You just kind of have to ride the wave. Just because you get sacked doesn't mean it's your demise. You can bounce again. People might even put Allegri into this, on the sly.
Yeah, and look, they're
your boy now.
Yeah, they're having a good season, man. They're having a good season. It's unfortunate what happened. Okay, of course they should be in the Champions League. You know what I mean? They should be in the Champions League, but dumb results have got them into the Europa League. But they got Sporting in the Europa. Well, as this videos would have come out, they would have already played. Who knows what will happen? But they got Sporting. They have an opportunity in the last 8. They have opportunity to go through and be in the last 4. So who actually knows what's going to happen with them? But if they didn't have a 15-point deduction, which has nothing to do with him, they'll be sitting second as well. So he's doing what he can do, and it just shows that he's a good manager as well. So listen, man, if it's
he was one that I thought after the first stint and how well he did, I always said I felt like he almost took credit for Conte's foundations.
I remember you saying.
But then this second time, I feel like he's able to kind of show himself a little bit more, impose his imprint, and that's where I've kind of been like, I got to respect it.
It is just the way it is, bruv. Like, as you mentioned, managers ain't going to be there for long. Pep said it the other day. The only reason I've kept his job is because, I managed to get the results. You know what I'm trying to say? But it doesn't really mean that other managers are doing a bad thing. Pep is like the only manager that you know of that ain't been sacked. You know what I mean? Ancelotti. What are you talking about, remontadas?
Oh, Everton. Ooh.
This Donny was doing what? Nonsense Everton. They went and won Champions League that season. Bro, it ain't the be or end all. Like, the title of this episode needs to be "Sacked ain't the be or the end all." Real talk. The truth.
Listen, man, we'll have more of these coming. We might have to do one on players, man. If you have a dip in your career, can you bounce back from it? That might be the next one. But listen, till next time, like, share, subscribe. If you're watching right now, I have an urgent message for you. Go on all of our social media accounts. Go and follow. Go and be locked in. If you want to get the content direct to your phone, have your notifications on, push notifications from. You have smartphones, you have smart devices, you know what to do. Make sure you get the content first. See you soon.